Hi, everybody. Erica from In the Company of Cards here. Happy Friday. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. This is a channel, as you know, where I use Lenormand or Lenormand or Lenormand, however you want to pronounce it, to look at the issues of the day. There's a lot of issues to look at, but I'm only going to focus on a couple today. And then I think I am going to come back on Sunday and do what I did last week because that was a lot of fun. I mean, I had fun where I did a live and I invited you all to ask me your questions, not personal questions, but questions of, national, international import. And the questions were really impressive. I obviously I couldn't get to all of them. I did it for about an hour and a half. It's for subscribers only. You only have to be subscribed for like 5 minutes, but hit the subscribe button and then you can ask a question. Um, I'm not sure what time I'm going to do it. Maybe the same time as before, which was no, when was that? I want to say it was 4 Pacific. Um, yeah. So I'm going to try it again at 4 Pacific, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. Um, Yeah, so it'll be live for an hour or so until my voice gives out or I get tired. So just bring your questions and you can tell me how your day went tomorrow. Your day tomorrow went, will have gone, however you want to put that. I just want to say a word before I read on what I want to read on today, which is that I don't know, why people are so like black and white, and I don't mean race when I say that, although I did just write a Substack about race you might want to go look at if you're interested in my writing. But why people are so black and white about this Kings thing. I think it's really stupid, frankly, to separate people into camps. I'm black, so I'm staying home, minding my business, drinking my water. Um, But for those people who are going to be out there, good for you. Um, be careful, be safe, be clear on why you're going. And I could think of any number of reasons why it would be a good thing to do if you're white and not in the crosshairs of ICE because you're, an immigrant or you look like one. I guess I could probably pass for one. But at any rate, if you're going because of the camaraderie, I think that's a fine reason to go. If you're going so that they have a huge number of people out, I think that's also an exceptional reason to go because it definitely registers a protest, registers the fact that people are not happy. And that's good for the government to see, not just the executive branch, but local and state officials as well need to see this. So I think that's great. If you think, and I know there are people who think this because I will periodically be asked this, if you think that the felon is going to see the protests on TV and say, oh my God, you know, amazing grace. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. I'm having a come to Jesus moment. And, you know, that's not going to happen. He is who he is. If anything, it will make him more off the chain. Like now he wants to name the Strait of Hormuz the Strait of Trump. And he's serious about it. Anyway, um, it will not move the needle in terms of what he does, but it will definitely send a message. You know, I spoke about this and I wrote about it in a previous Substack, and said people need to be clear on not only why they're going to be out there, but also the way that it's done, I mean, I think it's just I protest from 12 to 2 on a Saturday because it's convenient for everybody. I mean, I'm a child of the 60s, so that to me is just bizarre. But, this is the modern age, the 21st century. So if this is how you all do protests, who am I, uh, to critique that? But I think that there also need to be next steps, and I have not heard next steps. Next steps that are kind of general strike type next steps. Protests that span a few days instead of just a pretty Saturday in March. Um, because the powers that be need to be hurt in their pockets. So we need to be talking about boycotts, we need to be talking about general strikes, etc. That's my concern, is that because I know this is true. People say to me, so is he gonna, resign as a result of the protests? Is he gonna be impeached because the government's so upset about him, you know, bringing all these people out into the streets? What? That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. So, my injunctions to you are know why you're going, be safe, be sure you have at least a buddy, somebody that you go with. Be sure that you have people who know where you're going to be, that um, uh, what else are they suggesting? Have a lawyer's number tattooed on your brain. I don't know, maybe on your arm too. Um, you know, all the kind of things that you can get from other sites that will tell you how to be safe in this kind of protest. But I wish everyone well. I look forward to hearing how it went when I come on Sunday at 4. Gives you time to sleep in and recover and then come and join us on Sunday to get your questions answered. So I thought I would look at how things will go tomorrow in regard to the protest. Uh, we know that there's well, I mean, I don't want to go into all of the news. You know what's going on in the news. Certainly can talk about it Sunday. I just want to focus on a couple of things. One is tomorrow. So this is the Tarot of the Abyss. I'll show you the box. I really like it a lot. Uh, the Tarot of the Abyss by Anne Turian. So it is my new favorite tarot deck. And so I thought I would pull a card for how tomorrow will go. And I'm just going to pull it and then keep it at the top of the line. I haven't turned it over yet. Okay. And then I thought that I would, let's see, I think I'm going to use the garden as our focus card for how tomorrow will go. And I'm going to pull five cards. If I need to pull clarifiers, I will. How will tomorrow go? These are obviously protests that are happening across the country. Different things will happen in different places, but I just want to see if I can get an overall um, vibe. Did you hear that they raised the enlistment age of when you can enlist in the military from, I think they raised it from 35 to 42. Now, why would they do that? Because they're hard up for people. Interesting, right? I've said I don't think a draft will go anywhere. They could put together a registry of names of draftable people. That's not outside the realm of possibility, but I don't foresee a draft. But anyway, let's look at how tomorrow will go. Okay. So I have my tarot card there. I did not turn it over yet. Um, I'm going to turn them all over at once. And again, as I said, if I need to draw clarifiers for these 5, I'll do that. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so our tarot card is the Chariot. And I love that this is, there's no lions or anything um, pulling this chariot. This is a bird, and they are up in the air. And what I also like is that sometimes with the chariot card in tarot, there's this implication of disorderliness, like that the charioteer is not in charge. So those sphinxes or whatever that are at cross purposes can create chaos. But that's not the case here. I mean, this is a bird, but it almost looks like a fountain pen, right? Its aim is straight and true, and I like that very much. So I do think that the message that will be sent is the one that is intended to be sent. The message simply is no kings. We're not, we don't like you. And you know what? That's good enough. That's fine. So that's our tarot card for tomorrow. Full steam ahead. Great. And then we have the Lenormand. We have the key, the anchor, the letter, the garden, and the scythe. I like this too. I think a lot of people are going to come out. I do, encourage you if you were thinking about going out, go out there. Don't be swayed by people saying, "Oh, it's not enough. It's not going to do anything." I don't understand the logic of that. I think people should go out. Again, I'm black, so I'm staying home. And I've already given my advice to black people, and we all know why that is. But if you're going to go, go. The key. This is a great card because it's a yes card, especially, as the first card here and together with this chariot, full steam ahead. So this is great. Um, so we have the key and then we have the anchor. Now, an anchor can keep us safe, an anchor can keep us stuck. I can mirror this anchor with the fourth card, which is the garden. And this feels very much to me like the message will be that the people have the power, that the government, excuse me, serves at the pleasure of the people. Clearly, the government has forgotten that, but they will be reminded. And then what we have in the center, always important, right, is the letter. You know, um, bodies in the streets, people in the streets is can be translated to votes at the ballot box. Now, remember what I said, the more people that are out there, the more enthusiastic people are, the more worked up he's going to be, and the more um, terrified the GOP is going to be about how big their loss will be, and the more kind of up to no good tricks will be pulled to try to circumvent the election. But people will be out in force, and that translates to votes. So that's a good message to send. Again, I can mirror the anchor with the garden, which is great. And then we have the scythe. Sometimes a scythe is just a scythe, meaning, you know, the key, think of the key as like a guarantee. There is a guarantee that this government will be cut down, cut out in 2026, this year, in a few months, in November. 222 days, 220 days, as a matter of fact. I checked. This is really decisive. So if you were thinking about going out, go out. I think it's great. Numbers count. Again, be careful, be safe, be smart. But I think tomorrow will be a good day. I think people will come away feeling good. And the last thing we need is infighting as to, well, is this good enough? I mean, no, it's not good enough, but it's good. Good enough will be when we learn what the next steps will be. And again, like I said, a general strike, whatever boycotts, the Target boycott is still in session from now until eternity. So whoever is declaring that that's over, it may be over for them, but for the majority of us, for the collective consciousness, black hive mind, that that boycott is will not ever go away. they shot themselves in the foot on that one. So I'm very excited. I think tomorrow's going to be good. All right. And then I just thought I would look at the Felon's weekend. So I'm going to pull a tarot card just to give us a flavor of his weekend. I mean, he is entertainment purposes only, crazy as a bed bug. Um, and tomorrow's going to make him crazier. The fact that a deal was struck to fund the government all except ICE has made him crazy as a bed bug. Um, he's mad at Johnson, but Johnson's got his own issues. The Epstein stuff's not going away. In fact, it's only ramping up, which is great. Erica Kirk, I find her, not her, but the whole situation really interesting. So I hope somebody asks me about what's going on with her on Sunday. If not, I'll do a deep dive next week on that. But anyway, I'm going to pull a card for the Felon because we care about how he feels, don't we? Okay. So that's the card for him, and I'll look at it in a second. And then I'm going to do like I do usually, and I'm going to pull 5 cards for his weekend. How will his weekend go? Okay, this is interesting. The tarot card for how his weekend will go is the Queen of Pentacles. You know, um, I like the Queen of Pentacles as a rule, right? She's the nurturer, the physical nurturer. He may very well need a lot of physical um, shoring up, I suspect, because of how his weekend goes. A lot of TLC, a lot of women in his life telling him, how great he is. So I think that's what this is all about because there's nothing Queen of Pentacles about him. He will need this kind of energy just to prop him up. Okay, let's see what the Lenormand cards are. Okay. So we have the fish, the scythe, the sun, the book, and the star. And I think I am going to pull, sorry, my head's cut off, pull some clarifiers because these are kind of interesting. Fish is feelings, emotions. Yes, it's money, but I think we're talking about his emotional health and his mental health. I just think his emotions, he's already angry. And when he sees the mobs, I mean, he'll call them mobs. When he'll see the crowds come out tomorrow, he will be, "Mm, okay." It will feel to him like however many marches there are, you've heard of like a death by 1,000 cuts. Well, this will be that, those 1,000 cuts. He will feel every one of those people out there in these streets against him. Center card is the sun. Now, they say the sun is the best card in the deck. Generally, that's true, but sometimes it's not. In the context of the question, in the context of the other cards, and in my with my intuition, I just feel like this is the word is, how do you spell it? Choler, choler. Choler is anger and it's heat, heated anger. Like I could see his face going very red, even through the makeup. Um, that's blood pressure stuff. So he will be really heated this weekend. Won't know what to do about it. Like he wants to call a truce in Iran, and Iran's like, truce what? Just like he said, okay, well, we're ready for some oil. Iran's like, we don't have oil for you. So he doesn't know what to do. He's between a rock and a hard place. And then the final card is the future. So he has real feelings about what his future holds, both politically, but also sort of just existentially, right? He's not a well person. So he is thinking about his mortality, um, and just thinking about his legacy and having all kinds of feelings about the fact that people are messing up his legacy. Saif. Now, again, this will feel painful to him, but I can mirror it with the book. That's the fourth card. I think part of the issue for him, of course, is that he acts and he reacts and he doesn't plan anything. And I just think this is coming at him, everything coming at him out of left field between the war situation, our allies being furious at him, and that includes allies in the Middle East who are taking a lot of the brunt of this. Uh, the fact that there was this workaround found so that the government can be funded, oh, all except for ICE. So, the fact that ICE at the TSA is a joke at the airports is a laughing stock. So I just think he's at sixes and sevens. He's really at loose ends, doesn't know what to do, but is trying to play it off like he does. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers with Lenormand. So let's see what we got. Um, let's pull clarifiers on everything. All right. So clarifiers for the fish, scythe, sun, hook, and the star. Okay. So for the fish, remember I said this is emotion. He is very emotionally fraught this weekend. Clarifiers are the lily, the ship, and the scales. This just tells me that he's so worked up that they're going to try to calm him down, probably with drugs, probably suggesting that he go play golf or whatever, because they want to lead him to some sort of more a state of equilibrium because he's incredibly mercurial, with the ketchup on the wall and all that stuff. So they're going to try to do everything they can to calm him down. Okay, the scythe is our second card, and the clarifiers are bouquet, ring, and tower. Now, when I was looking horizontally, the scythe was bad, right? This is the death from a thousand cuts. Here, the scythe cuts the bouquet. So, all of his accomplishments, which were not really accomplishments that he wants to gather, he's being undercut at every turn. I do think he feels trapped. A lot of times I like the ring, but I feel like it feels very noose-like. Trapped and alone, you know. Um, Trapped and alone. I think people are either steering clear of him or blowing smoke, and he knows that it's smoke, he knows it's not sincere, or they are outwardly saying, "Sir," because he likes that, "Sir, this is untenable, the way you're handling XYZ." So I feel like he his bouquet is getting chopped up. He's feeling strangled and alone. The center, we have the sun, and the clarifiers are the letter, the woman, and birds. I think that they will try to have people around him who make him happy. especially women. And I think that, again, I do think that there will be some sort of script, script meaning prescription for him, and also happy talk. Remember that person who would follow him around in a golf cart, and her whole job was to go through and find articles that were complimentary to him and then show him those articles. There's going to be a lot of that going around. And I think that because he's feeling lonely, they will try to surround him with people who glad hand him and tell him that he's great. Probably he'll be at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. Fourth card was the book. So the book is about things we don't know. Well, what didn't he know? He didn't know that, and I don't know how he doesn't know it, but okay, how the public really feels about him. I mean, he's got the poll numbers; they're in the tank, especially among young men. Uh, the public, he didn't realize, or he doesn't know what to do about the fact that the public can't stand him and don't want to hear anything he has to say. He is a problem. The public is causing him a problem and blocking him from doing the things that he wants to do, even by just being out in the streets and being loud and vocal about it. Now, the fifth card is stars. And I will say that one of the things that stars is, if you look, I have like, there's that one big star, but then there's little dots on here. This is actually the card for pills, medication in pill form. And I feel like his emotions will be medicated. Emotions will be medicated. And the clarifiers for this are the bear, the coffin, and the rider. So he will be really moody, temperamental, egotistical, narcissistically ugly. They will try to calm him down because they will say, sir, this is not good for you. This is a coffin. Coffin is not, always DEATH. Sometimes it's illness and exhaustion. And so they will try to they will try to rein him in. Rider. Rider is like the news coming in. Well, I can mirror that with the very first card, which is fish. So he will be off the rails on Truth Social and wherever else, whoever, whatever Sunday shows he's going to call into, whatever. He just expect that. Just know that that's going to happen. I think that the fact that the tarot card is Queen of Pentacles is interesting. I mean, women will be his undoing in the end, insofar as the Epstein files are concerned. But it's also true that he has these, you know, all those fox-looking women, you know, around him. Um, and they will be doing double duty, trying to assuage his Leo-like, Aries-like, crazy, ketchup throwing temper. So he will not have a good weekend. I hope the rest of us do. I really am looking forward to hearing how things go for you if you are out there tomorrow. And I would love to hear from those of you who are home drinking your water like I am. We are helping in other ways. Our sitting home is not, um, you know, like we're going to sit out. That's not what it is. Our sitting out, in case you didn't know, now you know, is strategic. It's strategic. They will think twice and three times about harming white people. Us, we're expendable. They don't care. So we will be helping in other ways. This is the way that I help. And I look forward to seeing as many of you as can be here on Sunday. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. Thank you for the liking and sharing and um, for hyping, for commenting. I read all of your comments. I can't respond to all of them. There's so many, but I really love this community and I'm very grateful. I think that Americans who do this kind of work, political um, prediction, I think we are being a little bit shadow banned in that it's difficult. I've heard from a lot of viewers that they can't necessarily find me as easily as they could. And I don't think this happens for our friends who do this work who are overseas, but definitely for the Americans, I see it happening. Mine's not the only channel that it's happening to. So if you could just hit the notification bell, if you could make sure that you are still subscribed, that would be great. And if you could share my channel with a friend, I'd really appreciate it. All right, everybody. So I'll be here Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and I look forward to seeing you then. Have a great weekend and be safe out there. Take care.